Hey guys, so we're going to talk about the iPhone 10 finally. Not the X, it's the iPhone 10. Apple has decided to go with this redesign and naming scheme for 2017. Instead of going with 9, they've changed it to 10. So maybe they're going to fill in another iPhone upgrade from the 8 and keep the home button for a while. Who knows? But right now we're going to be looking at the 10. So with the 10, we have a beautiful OLED screen on the front, which is the overall phone is about the same size as the iPhone 8, but it feels like it's bigger because the screen it takes up the full front of the phone, so it's quite nice. You get more viewing area, but not an overall larger phone, really. With the increase in size of the screen, they've actually had to do away with the bezels, so all you have is this notch at the top. And then in order to access the phone now, they've added Face ID, which is actually housed in that notch at the top. So to unlock your phone, instead of using your fingerprint, you're now going to use your face. So you have to look at the phone, and then you're just going to swipe up, and the phone is unlocked just like that. It works as good, if not slightly slower than Touch ID. And as you can see, we've got the different swipe gestures, which are going to be used now instead of the home button. So for notifications, you swipe down from the middle of the phone. For the control panel, you swipe down from the right. To switch apps, you're actually going to have to push up on the screen and then swipe over to the right. And you'll have your apps displayed. And that means that you also get to use different buttons for it. To close an app, you actually now have to bring up the app menu, press and hold, and then you can either swipe up on the app or press the little close button. And that means that you also get to use different buttons for the powering on, powering off, calling Siri, and also taking a screenshot. So that does take a little bit of getting used to. Overall, the phone feels solid. It's glass on the front and the back, though, which means I would definitely suggest putting the phone in a case just to protect it. It's a little bit slippery when it's out of the case, especially if you have sweaty hands, and it is going to be a risk to crack as soon as you drop it from any distance above the ground. So definitely protect your investment and get a case for it. As far as the operating system goes, it is the same operating system that Apple's continued to use. It does have the adjustments for the swipe features, so that does take a little bit of time to get used to. Overall, though, the navigation, everything is pretty much exactly the same, so you still know you're using an iPhone, which is nice for people who are familiar with the iOS system. Now, Apple has still chosen to leave the headphone jack out, which of course we're not going to see coming back, I don't think, ever, to an iPhone at least. And they will most likely continue to use the Lightning port for everything instead of upgrading to USB-C. It looks like one thing that this phone does add with the glass back is wireless charging. That's a nice feature to have. Same thing with the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus right now. Overall, the battery life on this phone seems to be pretty good. It lasts all day, no problems getting full use, even with the camera. It's going to be slightly better than the iPhone 8, but not quite as good as the iPhone 8 Plus, which has a bigger battery, so that's expected. This device overall looks nice and sleek. It's got the metal edges. It's got the camera orientation changed on the back. Still has the dual camera on the backside with the image stabilization, so you can get great video, great photos, and now it also has portrait mode, so you can actually change the looks of your photos, and that is available on the front or rear facing camera, so that's a nice feature that they've added. And then last but not least, they've also included Emojis, which is unique to the iPhone because it does require the camera additions that they've added to this phone with the Face ID. And what it does is basically lets you record animated videos of your face transferred over onto a character, and you can also include audio in that. So you can record a video message and send it to someone. And because it's only available on iPhone, the iPhone 10, yeah, you're going to be basically broadcasting to everyone that you have a 10 and bragging about it. So that's quite Apple. This phone comes in two different colors. You can get it in the white version or the space gray. This one is a space gray, which I think looks great, but at the same time, it does show off the fingerprints quite a lot. which is pretty much true for any dark glass colored phone. But that's expected with this. Again, if you put it in the case, it's really less of a problem because that's going to hide the fingerprints, hide the glass, protect it, which is a good thing, and that's what we want. But yeah, so that's our brief look at the iPhone 10. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. Also, let me know what you think about the phone if you're using it yourselves, because it has been out for almost about a month now. A lot of people have gotten their hands on them. So I'll continue to use this one. If anything comes up, we'll post up another video. But as of right now, it's a sleek new design that Apple's taken on, and I think it works pretty good. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay tuned for more videos by subscribing.